And now, aviation weather around Alaska.
First line weather graphic for Thursday morning. A lot of IFR out here over the Bering Sea and the Aleutians. By contrast, a lot of VFR over interior Alaska. Starting out with some IFR up here along the North Gulf Coast, in across all of the southeast coast. And then for the afternoon, that gives way to marginal VFR for the Panhandle here, Gulf of Alaska up into Prince William Sound, Kodiak Island, the interior, VFR, all the way up to the Arctic Ocean. Marginal VFR around St. Lawrence Island to Nunivak Island, otherwise, also for the Alaska Peninsula. Otherwise, IFR for the good portion of the Bering Sea here down to about Unalaska Island westward to Amchitka, and then improving farther to the west. And that area kind of holds out here into Friday morning. And areas of the Aleutians, mostly IFR, marginal VFR again, Nunivak Island to St. Lawrence Island. In along the coast, VFR all the way up into the Arctic Ocean again, VFR, and down into the Copper River Basin, Cook Inlet. Still looking at some marginal VFR here, possible for Prince William Sound, Eastern Kenai Peninsula, Kodiak Island, and in across the southeast coast. And for the afternoon, 4th of July afternoon, shaping up like this, VFR from the North Slope all the way down, all of mainland Alaska, VFR. Kodiak Island, marginal VFR, now some IFR possibly showing up there on the east side of the island, marginal VFR, Yakutat on down to Dixon Entrance, possibly Cordova as well. Improving here over the Bering Sea, some marginal VFR showing up. Still have some IFR here over the northern and northeastern Bering Sea, but west of Nunivak Island. IFR though for the Pribilofs, and some IFR along the central and west central Aleutians. And for the passes for Brooks Range, another VFR day coming up again here for Anatuvik and Adigan. Lake Clark and Merrill, VFR. VFR for rainy, windy, and Isabel could be marginal at times. And for Mentasta, VFR. Tanita starting out marginal, becoming VFR. And for Portage, lowest conditions you can see during the morning hours, better in the afternoon. And for Chilkoot and White, IFR becoming marginal. Freezing levels here, we've got 6,000 feet here over the southeast coast, 6,000 feet over the western Aleutians and Bering Sea. In between, a big warm area here, 12,000 foot freezing levels here into the southeastern Bering Sea, up into the northern interior under upper high pressure. And from there, looking at icing. No icing expected of any significance across all of mainland Alaska, northern Bering Sea into the Chukchi and Bristol Bay across the Gulf to the Panhandle. Nothing expected. Out west here, a band of possibly considerable moderate turbulence there for the Pribilof Islands, but way up there above 14,000 feet. And out here over the west central Aleutian, some elevated icing threats there. And looking at the jet stream, upper high pressure here over the North Slope and Arctic coast, so easterly flow on the south side of that high, up to 90 knots here, coming in toward the lower Yukon River Valley areas, lighter to the south, and then becoming westerly farther to the south of the trough right here across the Gulf, and southerly winds 75 knots for the central Aleutians. And for 9,000 feet, southeast winds 30 to 40 knots here across the Barren Islands into Kamishak Bay, taking a more southeasterly direction along the southwest coast up to St. Lawrence Island, and then turning southerly over the Chukchi Sea. Otherwise, stronger winds way out here to the west, 50 knots, but that's south of the western Aleutians. 3,000 feet, we have that band of east-southeast winds, 30 to 40 knots, blowing across Kodiak Island, the Aleutian Range, on up here to southeast, 35 knots there, across Nunivak Island. Otherwise, pretty good. Light winds over interior Alaska, Arctic coast, all the way down into the Gulf and over to the Panhandle. And for turbulence, look for considerable moderate here. Kodiak Island, the Aleutian Range, northeast Bristol Bay, and then extending, as you can see, northwestward here, all the way up to St. Lawrence Island. And it could be a little bumpy out here over the west central Aleutians, Kiska, Amchitka, if you're heading out to those areas. over toward Adak.